Well, hello. This is Boals Maker World, and I hope you all can hear me okay. Test, test. Okay, this is a little bit better. So this is me making some stuff in the background. So let's see what we're up to today. So, right, the first thing we're doing is we're making a QR code for our Shopify account. We're now going to make a QR code for our YouTube stream, which we're doing right now. So we now have this link set up. We have this going. This is a QR code monkey, which is going to let us make the lovely QR code that we can use for everything. So I hit save it as a SVG, and you'll see that I now have a YouTube, I have a Shopify, and everything else. What I'm doing here is this account, which you can't really see really well, is where I put the signs. I'm making a very interesting sign I found on MakerWorld. Looks like this, which will let me go ahead and put some business cards and some signage together and basically be pretty cool. So as you can see, my sign is done. I go to my downloads folder and you see it says QVR. So I'm going to locate it there and say YouTube. And put my sign. All right, we'll go back to make sure this is sharing the correct thing and not just my QR code. Sorry about that. I share my entire screen. Whoa, the endless time. Sorry about that, folks. So we have this lovely file that we found up there that we are looking at. Here's QR code, icon monkey. This is a QR stand from Iglorus, who allows us to use it, modifying that just a bit to have everything we need. So first things first is we're going to insert into this lovely file our SVG. We're going to do the YouTube one like folks. Depth is 4 and scale. We're going to make this smaller, so give me a second. We're going to have this QB and scale it to 25%, maybe 10%. Oh, there we go. I'm going to select a color for that, make sure it's setting right. Now, we want it to extrude. Well, we're not ready for the extrusion. So what we need to go here is, we can do it in Shaper, we can do it in Fusion 3D. Either of these tools work. All of them are different levels of freeness. I paid for Shaper, so I'm going to use Shaper, just to make my life a little easier. I go to top view, import, nope, not a project, import a file. I'm importing an SVG because that's what we just did. Now, this does appear that it doesn't like my SVG. Oh no, can't do it in Shaper. Whatever will I do? Well, then I'm going to go ahead over here to Fusion 360, make a new project. And I'm going to go ahead and insert up here an SVG. See that an insert under the design function. So I'm going to insert from my computer. And then I'm going to find that file that I have and insert it. Now it's asking me to choose a side. I like to do it on the top. You can now see that there is a file here. I'm going to finish the sketch. Do we want to scale it up at all? Probably. So we want to extrude. Oh no, it's not letting us do everything we want to do, is it? So there are ways to do this, and this is one way to do it, and just painful. Another way of doing this is to go into your SVG to STL. So this lovely SVG to STL file will let us find the files we want to do. So let's use the USG. Upload it. We want its extrusion height of greater than 0, so 5. Oh, there she goes. All ready to go. As opposed to how long you saw it would take me to do Infusion or 3D or any things. Use the tools that are already out there, make it easier on yourself. Okay, so we now have this file ready. Going back here. So I'm going to delete this file that you saw here. And now insert that 3MD file that I just made right there, that STL. Oh, look how big that is. We're going to make that 10% like we just did earlier. Alrighty, now we're going to move it so it is where we want it, which is basically centered here. So let's say 15%. And we're going to move it. Whoa, whoops, wrong thing. We're going to move this up. And we have to move it as part of the assembly. So you select the item you're working on, and you say, hey, I'm going to split this guy. All right, we got these three now. We're going to merge them. All right, so first things first. Now we can move it up. The blue guy, move it up. See, there we go. Now it's sitting on top of the square. Now we know that was a bit big, so I'm going to change it to 13. Oh, I thought 12. There we go. That looks pretty good. You can see that it's kind of there. Now notice we got to rotate this sucker. It's upside down. Oh, you best. I got to rotate this so it goes the way we want it. All right, there we go. Oh no! I looked at this thing upside down. That's a danger when you're doing this stuff. Okay, so we got a YouTube sign. Now we had this other thing for Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and delete it because I think it's easier to insert the other SVG. So you see, go back to here, the lovely tool. We're going to select a file. We have the other SVG for Shopify. We're going to upload, convert 5, and download. Now we're going to go back to our bracket here, and we're going to insert that file, Shopify. We're going to scale that file to, I believe it was the file. There we go. A little hard to see, so I tilted it just to make it easier for you guys to see what's going on here. Right, now it's down below, we want it up top, right? Now you notice that it's doing that. Merge it in now, right? So now that is part of the products that you can move because it's thinks there's an item underneath it. Oh, undo. And center that on that little platform there. You want to make sure you only touch the thing you want to touch and not everything else. Because you can see over here, I moved the YouTube guy out a little bit by accident. See, moved it again. And we got YouTube, Shopify. So now we know what it is. So you look at this guy and we want to add some text. We basically want to say Shopify. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Sorry about that. Shopify. Right, and now where do we want that text? I kind of want that text down here. Kind of want it to be the right store. Make sure I spelled it right. Shopify. Shopify. Okay, so we got that. Now, what we also want to do? We want to add another square. So I add a primitive cube. Yep. Now this cube, we want to merge with the assembly. And it's already part of the assembly, which is actually kind of nice. So we're going to scale this sucker, not uniform scaling, because we only want this to be about 4. And we want this to be about the same height. So we're going to scale it up there. Say 30 by 30. Looks like 35. Ooh, a little too much. Try 32. Cool. So now we got this guy. Copy, paste. Now we have 2 of them. New 2 platforms, and we can now look at what we're doing. Let's look. I put these guys way too tall. Let's get them onto the ground, shall we? Notice that little embed you saw where it's a little dark right there? You just want it just a hair. That way, everything is there. So let's go again. We're so we want our Boals Maker group because we're a great group and we love to have feedback. So I got the Shopify. You got my Etsy store right here. Let's go ahead and link to that. So we go back to our monkey. We say our Etsy store. Color's gonna be the same. Logo. We want the Etsy logo. Do we have the Etsy logo? No. But can we get the Etsy logo? Yes, we can. Save image as the JPEG. Now we're going to save this to downloads because that's where I'm going to put everything. Now we're going to look at this. Go back to QR Monkey. It says you can upload a logo. There's the Etsy logo. Perfect. Customize design. We're not really changing any of that. You already have that selected. And you want this as an SVG. And now it's downloading. Now this is all good and all because this gets you multiple signs. Again, you want to rename there and make sure that everything you do is named appropriately so you know what you're doing. So like this is, let's see. My link currently takes me to Etsy. Going up over here, we go back to this lovely tool we were in. We go back to upload, home page, and you select a new file. We're going to now select the Etsy side. Now we're going to upload. Again, we're going to do this. We're going to say, hey, whoa, that's the wrong file. Nope. See, that's what happened when I clicked the button. It didn't update the logo. So we're going to save it. Notice that the lovely tool, you have to refresh it. It doesn't just automatically save it for you. So we're going to go back over to here, our domain, because I copied the Etsy one twice, and delete that so we don't use it. Etsy. Cool. Now we go back over to here, and we select the correct file this time. And we hit upload, and we're almost there. That does not look good. That is the Etsy doll. Well, you know what? I got nothing. Shows is Etsy, but it's printing the picture. So it's a fun activity, but didn't print the way I wanted to. So for my purposes here, it should still work. We're just going to have to be a little more unique about it. So here we are importing the Etsy logo. Right, and we know that this is supposed to be about a 12. Oh, make sure it's uniform scale. 12. Take the uniform scale off, make sure that's still 5. And now we can move this right about here. It's a little big for some reason, I don't know. Make that about 10 or 11. Okay, we now have the Etsy one in here. Again, we need to merge it into the assembly. Now Etsy is here, and you're able to move it up. See, it's still in the file right now. There we go. Yeah. Let's undo that because I accidentally moved something. So we got a box here. And just the 2. By the way, you can press the number 2 in these things. Sometimes you can. There you go. Now see, we got this almost kind of sort of loaded right. Not really sure what's going on there. Go to the mainframe here. Seems to have moved a little bit. Fix the hair. Okay. We go back to Etsy. It's a little tedious here. All right. So we're going to copy the text here because we are that way. Text shape, copy, paste. We're going to edit the text. All right. Again, be very careful how you collect them because you can easily grab the wrong thing. Okay, we've got Shopify, we got Etsy. Now, what do we need? We need Facebook. Facebook is always important, right? Do I have a Facebook already? No. Well, I do. Facebook logo. So let's go to my page again. About page transparency. That's a page ID. I want to give a link to somebody. And then you will make sure you do it correctly. So I will. Yeah, they're trying to charge you on this one. URL. So this is my main page. There we go. So we go back to here, SVG tool, UR monkey, replace that one. Save. Remove the logo, change it to Facebook. All right, and then we go to customize your design. We could refresh. Now it says Facebook. Yay! All right. This takes a few minutes, so sorry for the delay. Okay. Again, we go in there and we rename the file because it comes up with a generic Facebook. QRD. Yeah, it would be smart to go ahead and test that all these QRDs actually worked. I'm going to trust. I'm going to lose. It's what happens. When you trust, you lose. But I'm going to go ahead and try it because this was me playing around with the system. We upload. Still fine. Looks pretty good to me. Download that sucker. All right, we're almost there. Last item we got to do. Now, this kind of actually works because it's kind of cross-eyed. We got this one, we got that one. So two of them not being labeled and two of them being labeled it kind of works for me. Can we scale this? Oh, 12% of what it was. And I can see that's too much. All right, now we got to add this to the assembly. All right, now we can move. We get that above ground. I'm pressing and holding the lever key, by the way. There we go. All right. Um, Sorry for the boredom here, folks. Okay, we got the QR code. We want to move it down. We'll center it a bit. Okay, the other generic cube is now 2. Okay, I want to make sure this is still 5 millimeters. We'll make sure this is still 5 millimeters. So we'll make sure this is 5 millimeters. It's not. All right, so I have it sticking out a bit. Let's see here, this Shopify one needs to go down a bit. It's not. All right. Okay. So we're actually going to change all the ones. The ones are fine. This black is actually kind of fine. Now, we do have some other logos here. And this is where we go in our change our text here. Make it for Boals Maker World. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. It's kind of 15. Make it bold. All right, there we go. This is going to be 3 because we need extra filaments here. We're going to sync it, make sure it's good. And that's going to be 3. So that should look like very close to that with the logo. So there's one more thing I can do. We have our logo for Boals Maker Group. And I have a 3mm. So I'm going to go back. Whoop, still printing. Ooh, that looks good. Still is printing, right? So go over here, and we add one more logo. Go to our logo files. For us, it's our actual logo file. Like this. Add this. Import the geometry. Yes. Yes. What is it? Oh, there it is. Edit undo. So I'm just going through and changing the colors to find out which ones are wrong. Looks like I can delete this one. I can delete this one because my logo's got some weird files in it. Don't know why. This does. That's fine. There we go. There we go. Here we are. Save a day. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. There was one more. There's that one. Okay, so we got this logo, which is all these lovely files. We're going to scale that into uniform scale, say 25% of the sky. 25% of the size. Uniform, make that 4. We're going to go here. Scale that again, say 40. All right. Well, it's a little tedious here, but you can all do the same thing. All right. So now we want to move the logo into the assembly. And we say merge. Now we go to the logo. It just so happens to be these body parts. I'll move them up. All right. Okay. So we've now made our sign. Now I'm going to go ahead and do something for my logo because my logo is a bit different. I always like to make sure that I have the little logo that says, hey, doing our best for you, as we are. We're going to shrink that about 8. And you can check our logo, make sure it says that. It's doing our best for you. All right, that's cool. So that is how we end up with a lovely sign that is, you know, pretty easily done. So I'm going to hit save on this. And we're going to save this to my desktop. And non-commercial scan. We call this QR code stand. Now, we already have a printer ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and print the long one because this guy right here is going to be a long lead term print because it's got multiple colors. So you can see that something happened. This is going to take about 4 hours. Considering it's just a little flat print, that's going to take a while. But I think it'll turn out great. So thank you for attending me with this lovely journey. I hope it was entertaining for you. And we'll be in for next week's session. So thank you very much and have a great day. Over and out.